This is Cowboy 2011. Today I'm going to bring you the What If Kombat Pack 3 entered Mortal Kombat X. And for this there's actually a lot of characters I could have picked from, but I'm only going to give you 6 males and 6 females. I'm only giving you 6 because I think if there was a Kombat Pack 3, you should have 2 males, 2 female characters, no guest characters, all from Mortal Kombat. We have 4 guest characters. Granted, they sold well, but it's not like horror slasher combat. It's Mortal Kombat, and we need Mortal Kombat characters. So let's get right into it. The first one would actually be what everyone would want it. Noob. I would like to put Noob in the game. Like, this guy is insane looking. From MK9 he had sick moves, and for his variation system it would be really tricky, but I guess this is what I would do. His first variation is based around the portals, controlling the field, narrowing the field, expanding the field. You know, teleporting away, bringing your enemy closer, teleporting forward, getting closer to your enemy. It'd be more about distance control and stage control in this variation, right? His second one would be, what would you call it, a clone? Like, I don't think, I know it's not ink, but it reminds me of ink. But his ink clone runs forward, helps you, you know, grab, slide, overhead, behind, stuff like that. That would actually help you out during the match. That would be the 2 variations that I see that are that seem pretty knowledgeable. Of course, you have maybe in the clone one you get strings that utilize the clone more with the second hit, helps you juggle with some things that you usually can't juggle in the other variations and whatnot. The third one, I'd say it's more about I'm trying to think what the third one would be. In MK9, he had a move, a ball, that would control it made your block button not work, and it was really, really hard to defend against that. You had to go on the offensive with that. I think that could be this orb, you know, it could, for instance, take stamina away. You know, one ball, take stamina away, another ball, take no block button, you know, then after that, it takes your meter away. Or something along those lines. I don't think there should be like a poison one. Maybe there's one that slows them down that like puts ink, or I don't know what this black stuff is on them. I still don't know. That puts ink on them and slows down their moves. Maybe opens gaps in their strings or something along those lines. That would be pretty sick. You know, meter burn version, it lasts longer than of course the regular one. And maybe after the meter burn version has a little bit of a toxic effect. Maybe it takes 5% of your health during the whole duration or something like that. And so that was the first character, that first male character I put in. The second one, of course, would be Fujin. He's already in the game. He's a character model. I still can't believe he did not make it in any of the combat packs. Like, he's there. He's literally right there, but you can't use him. They chose Bo Raicho over him, which, you know, I'll never understand. But there's some Bo Raicho fans, so, you know, a little iffy about that. His variations, I actually don't know much about the character, sadly. I know he's the god of wind, Fujin, but other than wind, I don't know what you'd do with him besides like maybe maybe one of course with the wind powers. The second would be like the staff. I think in the cutscenes you see him using the staff. I'm not too sure if I can remember that or not. Or he uses some kind of weapon, and that would be, you know, another variation. And his third variation, I literally have no idea what his third variation would be. Maybe yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what his third variation could be. And for the next one, we have Cabal. Yeah, in MK9, this guy was a douche to fight against, but from what they've seen, NetherRealm kind of is forgetting their past, or more like fixing it, because like Cyrax had unblockable bombs, and now he doesn't. They're lows and stuff like that. For him, his variations would be one where he's fast, of course, you know, utilizes more fast moves than the other ones. His second one would be using they're not knives, but what are they called? Swords? Hooks? Sword hooks? There has to be a name for them. But utilizing, that would be another one, kind of like a ninjutsu scorpion, where he uses this more often, the string and whatnot. And the third one, You could be using his gas mask more. Maybe he puts something into the air, an aura around him, kind of like Noxious Reptile, or something along those lines that where it messes with his gas mask that's keeping him alive. Because this character was sick when I'm MK9. I hated fighting him because, God, you could never get in. It's just low blade, instant air gas, instant air gas. Oh, you think you're coming in, run past you, spin you in the air, combo, push you away, and repeat the whole process again. Like, this character was pretty cool, and since he died off, this could be his last Mortal Kombat game he'd be in, and it'd be really cool to see him. Going on to the next character is actually, I'm going to save that one for last. Going on to Nightwolf. Nightwolf was a pretty awesome character, utilizing the spirit animals and ancestral strength and whatnot, and it'd be really cool to see him come back again. What would be his variations? One, of course, I think he would, it'd be more of a, what do you call it? Like a, kind of like Trimmer's metallic phase, you know, he has a human form, he has an animal form. He can switch between those, you know, switch between human, wolf, and whatnot. That'd be really sick. His second one we would call, I don't know, maybe uses his, he's more of an archer, more of a zoner. You know, uses his bow and arrow, places traps with lightning that strikes down on him, uses his axe to throw and, like, gain air control, makes you fear about crossing the axe if he activates at the same time, kind of like Ronin Takeda, how he calls his sword back. Stuff like that would be cool. His third one would be, I don't know, Dreamwalker. It's kind of a little bit hard to fight him because he can actually say, how would you use that one? He's never been able to teleport, so I don't think he'd bring that in. But, Dreamwalkers, say like, God, Zatanna's, if you played Injustice, you know how Zatanna put 2 clones of herself by her. She could either pick the far one, the middle one, or the back one. Maybe he could do that. He could mess with your vision. Stuff like that would be sick. And whatnot, mess with your controls, kind of like Relentless Jason, or you're in his dream world, you know. Something like that would be sick. That was what doing over Noob, Fujin, Cabal, Nightwolf. So there's 4. Fifth one, I think Rain should have been in it. If Kombat Pack 3 were to happen, Rain would have to be in it. You know, Rain, they already got the character model, put him in there. You just, like, what? Why is he not in here? But yeah, he's a really cool character, and he was inspired by Prince. He passed away. This would be a cool way of honoring him, but you know, this is a what if. More than likely Kombat Pack 3 won't happen, but what would his variations be? One would be, of course, he would control water, you know, making the bubble, doing this kicks and whatnot. Maybe his second one would be more about lightning, more lightning stacks, since he can call down lightning. Maybe he can put it around his body, activating like almost like a combo breaker, or, you know, some sort of breaker that activates early that like pushes him away if you have it activated, or if you meter burn it, it stuns him if you get hit, so projectile would be the only way to get him out of it, or something like that. That would be pretty sick. And for his third one, I can't think of anything else for his third one. His first 2, like water, lightning, but his third one, I literally have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to leave that up to you guys. And what was that? Didn't go all. Okay, the last male character I'd put in the game, because guess what? It would be Chrome. A fan-made character appearing in the game would be actually pretty sick. Like, this guy looks, just by these images, he looks sick. His arms transforming into weapons themselves. He can manipulate metal. Maybe he can put some stuff in the air that kind of restricts players from jumping or running at him without with either getting pushed back or interrupting a combo if it's left on the field, or something along those lines. Would be pretty sick. His variations, of course, would have to depend on all the powers he would get, and you can already use by how he's transforming. It would be sick, like Cryomancer 1, where his arms keep changing. Master of Storms, kind of like Raiden, where he can put stuff in the air and control the space around him. And you'd have to have some sort of rushdown character. Maybe a certain moves put spikes on him, so if he gets hit, the enemy or the opponent's still taking damage if he gets hit because they're technically hitting the spikes, or something like that would be pretty sick in itself. And of course, he's already technically he's a combat card, or not, Mortal Kombat player background. Like it looked like he's going to be in the game, but it's just a troll move. That was really, really heartbreaking. So those are the 6 males I'd put in the game. Of course, you can pick 2, since I'm recommending 2 males if this combat pack were to happen. And then the other 2, of course, would be females, and we'll get right to them. The first female I would pick is actually Frost. She was in the game. It's pretty sick how she is. And if you say you can't use Frost because you have SubZero, that's kind of irrelevant, because not everyone with ice powers acts the same. For instance, Injustice, Killer Frost, and SubZero, both ice powers, don't have the same kind of moves. You know, and this is the same thing with Frost and SubZero. They might have some moves that kind of overlap, maybe like an ice ball or something like that, but in itself, well, maybe not an ice ball. Maybe she'll do something completely different, like an ice dagger or something, or something like that she can throw on the ground, and if you hit it, you get frozen, throws in the air, frozen in midair, something like that would be pretty sick. But like I said, the character models are already made up in her. When they were designing her, what was it called? Oh my god, I can't think. Concept art of her. They have like 4 different concept arts, and those honestly look like they could be variation picks themselves. As of right now, I don't know what I would pick for her variations. Or how, like, I don't really know, like, how I would pick her variations. It's really the only problem, because everything I think of is sadly either Killer Frost, more likely than Killer Frost and SubZero, but I still think of SubZero a little bit, but she could be completely different. That'd be really cool to introduce to the game, because we don't have that many female characters in the game, and it's kind of a little weird. And of course she is in the Mortal Kombat X comics, so more reason to add her. My next female that I would add is actually Chameleon, because I think she is a Terran, like Reptile, I believe. I'm really thinking that she is. Yeah, she is. But she would be really cool. She could be more of the... No, that's someone else I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking of the right Chameleon. I was thinking of the other Chameleon. Not this one with the K. Chick has K, male has C. But this Chameleon would be really, really sick just to have a girl character. Of course, she would be controlling invisibility and stuff like that she usually does and whatnot. But her variations, she's a really cool character, but I don't know her powers that much, and I think she'd be cool because she is even hinted at in a Reptile versus Bo Raicho interacted with entrance. The next character I would pick is Li Mei. Once again, guess what? Character in game that already has a character model, but for some reason was not picked for any of the combat packs. And other characters were picked over, like Tanya had a fan base. I can't really say that, but Tremor, you know, he had a fan base, but they had to start from scratch. Bo Raicho had a model, but I thought Li Mei would at least have a bigger fan base than Raicho, but I was wrong. But she'd be actually really cool to enter the battle. She would have some really cool variations that would go offense and whatnot, but she would actually, she's in the game. Why can't she be in it? I don't know. I do not know. The next one I'd put is Serena. Oh god, I don't know how to say her name. But anyway, she was, once again, in Mortal Kombat storyline, not in the game. For some reason, she didn't make the cut, and she didn't make any of the Kombat Pack cuts, which is, like, she's right there. Character model, everything, just add the variation. And she would actually be really cool because she actually knows what happened. She says, Baihan in the story. Is that right? She knows about Noob. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've played the story, but she knows that she's been free. I think Noob freed her. Like Noob did something, but she would be once again one of those characters that would be really cool to see, especially over some of the other DLC that entered the game, like the guest characters: Leatherface, Jason, Alien, Predator, and Alien. But she'd have been really cool, but didn't make the cut. Next one, of course, is Sindel. Character model in game, not playable. Why? You can ask that Boom Man. Of course, she would actually be really cool. She could maybe her variations. I can only think of like maybe one where her hair. I know her hair gets controlled, how she can whip it around, stuff like that. Perhaps like Alien stuff where grabs you, or Takeda stuff with the whips with her hair and whatnot. Second variation, most likely on her voice. Think about like controlling distance and speed with your voice. I don't know, but it'd be more of a projectile base. I'm trying to think of what else. Like her third variation, I don't know. I really don't know what you would do for her third, but they'd find something. That'd be it. And last but definitely not least, Scarlet. Yeah, Scarlet. Someone that was just a bug ended up coming back. In MK9 was her first Mortal Kombat appearance, and she was honestly one of the sickest fighters on the roster in MK9. She was a lot of fun. She even takes place in the MKX storylines, which is really, really cool. But they didn't make the cut. Like, she would have had the variations that would have been really sick, including like stabbing herself, maybe not to get damage like Kukulkan and Ferritor, but maybe gain mobility and faster, making her strings more like still as punishable, but she could get away without being punished. She couldn't go on the offensive or something like that. That would have been really sick. She moves underground, kind of like I can't think of the character's name from K.I. Glacius. There we go. Like moves, actually puts your hitbox on the ground, like a puddle of blood moving. Something like that would have been actually really cool to see. And her fatalities, good God. And her and Melina would have had an interesting conversation, since technically they're both experiments, and Melina has got a fucked up mouth. And I don't think Sindel has anything wrong, or Scarlet. I don't think Scarlet has anything wrong with her technically, like no ugly mouth besides like her love of blood. But I don't think she has anything wrong with her like face-wise like Melina does, and that could have been an interesting conversation to have. And those are the six, the six female characters I'd have. You pick two, put them in the Kombat Pack. And if you guys could have picked two males, whether it be on the list or not, who would you pick? And two females, whether they be on the list or not, who would you guys pick? If this Kombat Pack 3, I almost said 2, if this Kombat Pack 3 were to happen, and they released it with some bunch of like saying these characters, who would you guys pick? And of course there'd be actually there might not be a costume pack. Maybe take away the costumes, lower the price of the Kombat Pack 3 just to the characters, something like that. That would actually be like, yes, we need this. But who would be the four characters you pick? Two male, two female, no guest characters. I think guest characters need to stay out of Mortal Kombat now. I mean, 4 guest characters, that's a little insane. I honestly thought 2 was the max. Maybe 3, because I predicted Alien, but 4? 4? Good God. Good God. Anyway, this is Cowboy 2011. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.